City. Proverb.
The axe forgets, the tree remembers.
The axe forgets, the tree remembers. Okay. Axe and tree, I don't know which is which here, between the national government and the county governments, the national treasury and the county governments. Last week, the Council of Governors, through its chairman, Martin Ombora of Embu, had written to the national treasury and the national government and said, you know what, you guys have been sending us money, just removing money one, like how someone eats njugu karanga from the pocket. Chukua moja, unarusha kwa mdomo, tafuna, kiisha, unakunywa maji, unachukua ingine unarusha. That's how they've been treating the counties. They had said, now, verily, verily we say unto thee, if you do not release money to the counties by Thursday, the 24th of June, I swear we are going to shut down the counties.
That's today, Abi.
That's today. So treasury were like, ati by when? Thursday. Oh my God. We, uko na pesa ngapi? Uko na ngapi hapo? Uko na ngapi? Lete nitakurudishia. Uko na ngapi? Wewe lete, uko na 100, lete nikupatie 20, upatie huyo mwingine. Treasury got some money and released some money yesterday, and they announced that they have released 43.5 billion shillings to the counties, and the Council of Governors has confirmed that they have received that money. This money covers the months that had not been covered for many counties until April. Okay? We are talking about 2 months ago. Counties should be receiving money every month for the operation. Yes. The National Treasury, as we have known now, this has become common, releases money as and when, and they are always in arrears with the counties. So we are coming towards the end of the financial year. In the next 5 days or so, counties have not received money for May and June. We are closing the year. Counties have only received money to operate until April, as we speak today. The Council of Governors has said, okay, yeah, you've released that money. Now, can you release the remaining money? Now, this kind of ping-pong game is one area of concern of how the National Treasury and the national government is operating, and how the counties then are able to deliver services to the people as units of devolution. What the National Treasury said is we are releasing this money, but also we'd like you to prioritize clearing of pending bills. So this is like sort of their condition. And they say, we are calling on county governments to prioritize payment of pending bills owed to the suppliers alongside the statutory dues. The payment of these pending bills will be closely monitored and future transfers weighed against the fulfillment of this important obligation to the private sector so as to spur economic activity levels as part of our ongoing and inclusive economic recovery program. This is according to Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani, himself a former governor. Now, I have an issue with that particular statement. Everything else, I have an issue with the fact that we are going to end of the year without conclusion of the payment. I have an issue with the National Treasury purporting to say, I am not going to give you money unless you clear the pending bills. Or, depending on how much of the pending bills that you've cleared, I'm going to see how much I can give you the next tranche.
And you know, Eric, there's a different discussion here. There's eligible pending bills. Not just pending bills. The Auditor General had waded into this discussion and said, you know, this is what we see, but the ones which we think are deserving of payment are these ones. Yes, exactly. And the amount, according to the standard, is 11.5 billion. Now, pending. So there is a story of Auditor General, Treasury. Then there are those who actually did work.
And they haven't been paid.
Yes. Now, if you happen to have done some work and you don't fall into the category of your debt doesn't fall into the category of bills that are eligible, woe betide you.
Yes.
Now, really, you use the word ping pong well, because if you were a governor, how do you ping pong this? Because you have, mandatory obligations like paying salaries because these people work for you.
Yep.
And then this little detail of projects.
Yep.
Because it's these projects, people doing them, that has brought about the issue of bills.
Yes.
So do you continue with the work? Do you pay the pending bill? I mean, what do you do?
What do you do?
And you know why you can't plan? Because the remittances that come to you don't come when they should. So
there's no certainty about when you're going to receive this money that you should be receiving.
So your planning is up in the air.
And then somebody has given you money, cleared arrears worth 3 months, 3 months of arrears, and they tell you, by the way, now that I've given you this money, we should prioritize paying pending bills and paying statutory obligations.
It doesn't work like that, actually. You know that? It doesn't work like that.
He's telling you prioritize. I've given you the money, but you should prioritize this and the other. Now,
you have arrears.
You have
people
arrears.
who have been waiting for 3 months to have payments made. So then I'm just looking
and I
at
still don't know. I mean, I am in June. I should be having money for June. If I had money on time, I'd be able to sort out my priorities. I'd be knowing that, yes, I have money. This particular pending bills are there. I can clear because I know next week, I'm going to receive some money that I'm going to put into
You can
this.
even make commitments.
Yes.
So this is a regular occurrence, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a regular occurrence that at any one time, counties are at a place whereby they are 3 months behind in terms of what they are able to do. You cannot plan, therefore you cannot develop because you're always paying in arrears, you're always sorting out things in arrears, you're not able to move forward. Oftentimes when we point fingers at the counties and say, you know what, in terms of development on a granular level, it's not happening in this country. But then can we now see a reason as an attributory reason as to why?
You know, that's a different discussion if you ask me.
Yes, I mean, but if you ask, it contributes to it.
It contributes significantly.
To it because how do you want me to develop if the very basic things I am not able to do? You're asking me to now start moving this vehicle into many different directions, whereby to put the key in the ignition and get the engine purring, I'm not even able to do.
You know, these pending bills aren't a constant, because so long as you have a project that is ongoing,
that's another accrual.
Yes, exactly. This one is not only alive, it's growing and mutating. So when you're talking about debt, it's 11. What makes you think next month it's going to be 11? It won't be.
And the debt is not only on those that have actually worked.
Nope.
There is debt also on statutory obligations.
Yes.
NHIF, NSSF, if you are supposed to be remitting some money to SACCO and others.
All those.
Insurance. All those. Because you went and borrowed money to pay people their salaries.
And there's an interest.
And there's an interest. So you're not borrowing at a lot of money so that you can also be able to pay NHSF, NHIF. NSSF is affected because it's not receiving the money it should be receiving to continue offering services not only to the county government employees but to the entire country. And this is a huge chunk of money that should be coming from the county governments to help in the operations of NHIF. And here you are sitting in the National Treasury saying, wait, you should be clearing pending bills and you should be clearing all these statutory obligations. How much have you given me? Out of the 100 shillings that I owe you, I'm giving you 10 bob. Pay bills.
And don't complain.
How?
And keep doing your job.
How? Now, the other bit of this that is completely disheartening to me is this statement of acknowledgement by the chairman of the Council of Governors, Martin Wambora. He appreciates the goodwill and says, yes, we have received 39.244 billion equitable share fund, 4.23 billion conditional grants, in addition to 4.47 billion that the Treasury had released on Monday last week. I wish to thank CS Yatani for his show of goodwill to our request and to the county governments. The money has already hit the accounts because I authorized withdrawal. You can confirm with any county by now or tomorrow morning. That's the Controller of Budget, Margaret Nyakango, who reports this. Now, my issue with what Mr. Wambora is saying, Mr. Wambora is basically bowing down to the pressure from the National Treasury. Asante sana.
Thank you so much. You've done us a big favor.
Oh my God. Hey, asante sana. At least umenipatia hii. Sasa si unipatia hii ingine next week. This is not an issue of discussion.
It's obligatory. You're supposed to give this money. It's not thank you, please. You've helped us. You've done us a favor.
It is not goodwill.
You've done your job. It's what is supposed to happen. It's what is supposed to have happened 3 months ago, 4 months ago, to be able to get this done. So now you're thanking people. It's like you've done them a favor. No. In order for the counties to run, in order for devolution to be effective, the National Treasury is supposed to release funds at in a regular pattern on a regular basis. Yep. It's what you're supposed to do. What is the fuel for this vehicle? How else are they supposed to do it?
Yep.
So now here you are thanking them, making it seem as if they've done a favor. So guess what?
And they still owe you.
Yes, they still owe you. So guess what?
And they've told you.
Now
But then
they're
the
releasing
condition,
it in bits.
the condition for the next release, I'm going to look at your behavior and your performance. If you're not paying the statutory bills and the pending bills, I will look at how much I'm going to give you.
But
This is contrary to the law. And I'm saying this is contrary to the law because the law is very clear, as we always say. How do we arrive at how much money is going to counties? It starts from the very beginning. National government, county government sit together and they agree on the share of revenue. And then it goes to Parliament. There is a division of revenue law that is passed by Parliament that says the national government shall retain this of our revenues, the county government shall get this. Let's say 360 billion shillings for the next financial year. That matter then goes to the Senate. There is the county allocation of revenue law that is passed at the Senate, which says out of the 360 billion shillings that's going to the counties, County A shall receive this based on a formula, County B shall receive this amount, County C. Every county then has a county assembly that says the money that we are budgeting and we are approving as a budget for the next financial year shall be this much. And we have approved that the county executive can raise this money from this, our equitable share of the national cake, and local own source revenue, permits, licenses, fees, blah, 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 blah. So there's already a check and balance. Nowhere does it say that the National Treasury shall be the one that determines how much you receive. Even how you spend, that is controlled by the controller of budget. When the county wants to use money, it goes to the controller of budget and says, I'd like to withdraw 12 million shillings. Controller of budget asks, what for? You present the project and you also present the backing, which is the budget that was approved by the county assembly. If you're coming up with a new idea, tulikaa jana tukaangalia tukaona tunulie kila mtu ng'ombe, so lete pesa ya ng'ombe. If it was not budgeted for, controller of budget will not sign. You will not get that money. There are all those checks and balances. Even at the end, there's the auditor general who will come and audit. How did you spend the money? Nowhere does the National Treasury come in to tell you, I will release this money if you do this and the other.
Eric, I'm listening to, I'm thinking about this right now, and I think there is a certain amount of, I don't know if to call it arrogance, that it seems to be coming from the National Treasury here. That, yes, this is what we have and this is what we are going to give you. All those other things that you're talking about, we don't understand. I've given you money. There's a complaint that's coming out right now in terms of bills that are pending across counties, across the country. I've given you money, pay. We're not looking at the problem here. That why is it that Treasury is not releasing the money that is due to the counties? Is there no money? Have they mismanaged funds that were supposed to be used for these county disbursements? Because that's the problem. But rather than face the problem, they're making it seem as if they've done their level best and have been able to offer counties money that is available at the moment. Don't ask me about the rest.
You know,
the student comes home and gives the father the list and says, I need 4 exercise books, 10 pencils, whatever, in order for me to go to school at the beginning of the term. Then you say, well, here is 1 pencil and a towel. You just go. After all, I have facilitated for you to go to school. Don't ask me. It'll just come.
I think
when
your point of view is actually accurate, but consider an alternative perspective. It's defensive. They know full well what they're supposed to do, full well. And even this disbursement that they're speaking about and the actual process of payments, they control it. It's not as though there's this whole stockpile of Kenya shillings in 1,000 shilling notes that you find in the treasury at the county, so that when you go, they simply give you your basket full of money. There's a system. It's called IFMIS. The counties don't control IFMIS. And like with every system, believe me, these conditionalities we're talking about here, it is set in that particular system. You will send your invoice or request for release of funds. It being released that you can be paid, it's not in the control of the counties. It is the truth. So really, when such statements are made, you actually wonder. You can determine actually who the counties pay. It's not as though they have the last say. They don't. You do. But even as you do, the thing that bothers me, Eric, is this. This big man syndrome that cascades itself, finds its way into our everyday lives. should there not be, because this has nothing to do with COVID, should there not be a system where we know that on this particular date, just like we know on this particular day, the budget processes are read out to us, can the counties just not know that on this date you will receive your money?
From the treasury.
Yeah, simple.
Because this is
Simple.
how you're supposed. Look, it's not. I believe that there should be other forms of revenue. This conversation was had just a few weeks ago from the governors, from the Council of Governors, in terms of own source revenue and where this should be coming from. However, there is the minimum. The only way that devolution can take place, apart from goodwill and everything else, the only way that devolution can happen in this country is with adequate funding. It's very simple. It's 1 + 1 = 2. So if you are not funding the counties, how do you expect them to do this work? To me, I don't even think that it's necessary for us to add plenty English on top of the story. Because devolution, operation, funds. You don't fund, it doesn't happen.
It doesn't move.
What do you expect people to do?
It doesn't move. And yet, like it has been said by very many, even members of parliament, why don't we see such kind of delays in operations at the national level? The national government does not seem to suffer these things that the county government are suffering. National government is able to pay its workers on time. The national government is able to start and continue with its projects on time. The national government, does not also clear its pending bills with the contractors on time, and this is where now another issue altogether that can be discussed. But in the other operations, the national government continues to operate on time. However, when it comes to counties, the national government is basically controlling these purse strings with some...
So, is there merit in the argument that there actually is no goodwill to see devolution be operationalized in this country? There is.
There is a lot of merit in this. There is a lot of merit in this.
So it was something that was instituted because it sounded like something you should do, because you wanted to make sure that there was development reaching the furthest parts of the country and everybody was working in tandem and there was some kind of congruence, right? It sounded good. On paper, it looked fantastic. In terms of development, it looked like, all right, you have a progressive democracy here because across the country, everybody's going to have a say. It sounds nice, right? When you put it on a piece of paper and then you present it to your bilateral fellows here and there and you're having these, you see, we also have entered into the gates of devolution, for example. We're making sure that we have an all-inclusive democracy. Okay? Very nice. The car cannot move.
It's stuck there. It's stuck there. And I like that question because that is the question. Is there goodwill at the national level for devolution to succeed?
Very, very apt question. Because if you look, just from the very, very time and the inception of the county governments, it's just that this discussion keeps morphing and coming up in a different form, but it's the same discussion. It's like, yes, there's money that's due to you, but we will tell you when you get it. Moreover, we'll even tell you what you need to do with it and how to do with it.
And then we will delay it at our whim. And
long before COVID.
Oh, yes.
Long before COVID.
Nobody should even try and use COVID as a reason, because these delays, we were seeing them before COVID made its entrance into the country. So we can delay it at will. We can use it for other things. And then when it's time for you to get it, we can decide, all right, we'll give it to you in piecemeal.
Yes.
And then we will reserve the right to blame you at the end of the day through the offices of the Auditor General, for example, and tell you that you've not absorbed.
Yep.
You don't have an absorption capacity.
Oh, yes. And in fact, that will be used now. That will be taken to the Commission on Revenue Allocation. Look, these people receive money, and yet their absorption rate is at 40%. Counties are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. These county governments are failing the people of Kenya. They are failing development in the country.
And we haven't even talked about the actual processes of payments being made. If miss on, if miss off.
Yes, we'll open the system for a period of time and let you see that payments were done in and out,
that system can be open at midnight.
We close it.
Who's awake at midnight and who's in the offices at midnight?
You see, but the system was open. Why were they not operating? This is rubbish.
Gave you an example the other time about CT committing to be supporting Eric. So CT says, Eric, I'll be sending 1,000 shillings every month.
Without fail.
But I'll be giving it to Ndu, so that now Ndu just make sure that Eric, because when him levi usiende kukunywa hii pombe. So Ndu I'll be sending money to Ndu, then
Ndu will make sure
you come up with a shopping list, give Ndu the shopping list, she makes sure that you purchase the things that you want.
That you actually need.
Every month. And if you don't use that money at the end of the month, then the next month, I take back that money until the end of the next month.
Yeah, I take
Whether
it
you
back.
need it or not is not the issue.
Yes.
But you have to use it.
You have to use it. And if you don't use it, I take it back. Ndu brings it back. CT sends you the money on the 30th of the month, on a 30-day month, at 7 p.m. By the way, Ndu,
Shops
the money
are
for this month.
closing.
Yeah.
Here, shops are closing. There's curfew. You are supposed to now run between that and 10 o'clock and
Yes.
get all those things done. And then at midnight, CT says,
Bring back the money.
you've not used the money?
Can I
Now I
have
will
it
do
back?
a report and tell the custodians of this that, you see,
Yeah.
I gave them money.
I give money.
I gave Eric money.
You can clearly see there's paper trail.
I
Money
gave.
left me, money went to Undu. And
And then
Undu
when-
acknowledged receipt.
And then when you asked me, but on which day did you present it? I said, stop
Wait.
nitpicking.
No, we
I
said
sent
within the month.
Did I send you the money for June or not?
I did. And when I
That's
said
what
it,
we should
no.
be focusing on. Did I send
Foca-
it within June or not?
Yes, get your thinking straight. I sent the money.
Now-
yeah, but you sent it now.
Are you listening to this now? Hover above the situation for just a minute. Are you listening to this? That's how a country is being run. That's how a country is being run.
And on that note, by the way, that 100 bob that you were supposed to be sending, he sent 70, 65,
It was 1,000
50.
actually.
1,000.
And
Yeah.
the month when I'm actually thumping my chest, I sent you 500.
Yes.
And yet you have a budget for 1,000, which is what I promised.
And you've sent with conditions. Eric, you cannot buy unga worth 40 bob.
In fact, Eric, I know somebody who, if you simply buy maize and take to them, they will
Give
make
you-
sure they siaga it for you so
they'll
that
give
you
you
actually,
flour.
and it's even more nutritious anyway. So my advice is,
I have a
don't
guy there.
don't even eat ugali every day. My advice is try and drink porridge.
Yes.
Ugali and the porridge makes a comeback.
Yes.
Hey, God
At the
have
end of the
mercy.
year, when a malnourished Eric, who's actually sleeping out on the streets, comes and says, Bwana, I haven't nimeishi maisha mbaya. City says,
Jesus, ask Ndu.
this guy,
Why are you talking to me?
I have supported, I have sent, every month I have sent 1,000 shillings. 1,000 times 12, 12,000 shillings. This guy,
It's you who doesn't want to do it. You actually are not interested.
Then I say, you
in
guys,
your self-nourishment.
you keep asking this question. You don't know just how difficult it is to deal with relatives.
You're not interested in your self-nourishment.
They are unappreciative of every effort that you
appreciate.
make. Here I am sending this money religiously. And you can understand at the end of the year, I've sent what I promised. I've left out the details of the month by
of
month.
course,
Why should you? You're protecting yourself after all.
of course. These are the issues we're having. Is there goodwill at national level for devolution to succeed? That's a question we want you to help us answer. 0719-012-600 or Spice FM KE on our social media handles. Is there goodwill at the national level for devolution to succeed in this country? Look at how much they are releasing from the National Treasury for devolution. Look at how many months of arrears the county governments have. Look at the money that comes even once. And then ask yourself, really?
Or should we ask the question, is there something that makes this higgledy-piggledy situation what it is? That is something we're entertained with every so often that we haven't been told.
Counties have not received money for May or for June. And one of the conditions that was given in the statement by Ukuri Atani, the National Treasury Cabinet Secretary, was pay the pending bills. And if you don't, you're not going to receive more money. Now, governors are already complaining. They're saying suppliers have been incited by Ukuri Atani to believe that we have the money to clear all their pending bills, despite the fact that we have not received funds for May and June. It should also be made clear that a good proportion of what was released will be going to pay salary arrears, KRA, other statutory deductions, so we may not be able to actually cover all the pending bills. Is there goodwill at the national level for devolution to succeed? That's what we're asking. Let's go to the phone line, 0719-012-600. In Mombasa, there's a gentleman called Pius, or is it Pius?
Hello.
Hi. How do you pronounce
Hi,
your name?
My African friends call me Pius.
Okay.
Yeah, wengine wanaita Pius.
The owners of the language say it's pious.
Okay, Pius.
Yes?
Is there goodwill?
No, there isn't. Yeah, first of all, Latif and Ndu and City. Let me first give you guys tribute. I've been listening to you guys for long. as long as I can remember. And I have to say, yes, you truly are the most serious conversation in the morning. You are.
Asante sana.
Asante
Pius.
Pius.
Very kind of you, sir. Thank you.
Pius.
Yeah, it's very indicative.
Right.
Now, back to what you guys are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The reason, and what if I may say, what beats me is why does the president, whose one of his 4 pillars is on universal health care, isn't it?
Yep.
So he talked about universal health care.
Yes.
And bearing in mind that healthcare has been devolved, why will his office, or will the office that is connected to him directly, that reports directly to him, that is the Minister of Health and Ministry of Finance and Planning, why will it do this to the same system that it needs to make UHC a success?
A success.
Yeah, it beats me.
As it happens, doctors have been complaining. They are among the workers in counties who've been complaining about delayed salaries, about not receiving their salaries. And we are in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. So much because in the cancer story and all that stuff, it shouldn't even be happening now. But then there it is.
That's
So we're left with the scenario. Are we looking at a government that only just likes to pop up and look good before the public? But then now that stuff is coming out, the reality, the ugly, imefichwa sana lakini sasa inatoka, it's coming out.
It's coming out.
Yeah.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Pius.
Thank you, and guys, keep doing the good work.
Asante. Amani, good morning.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant skit, you guys. You nailed it, nailed all the issues, did it hilariously, but really very sad nevertheless. But brilliant, well done. Keep doing those kinds of skits. They really hit home nice and hard. Thank you.
Amani, did I hear you refer to our conversation as a skit? I just want to understand.
It sounded like a perfect skit. I do skits, and that sounded like a perfect skit. Off the cuff, nails the issues, does it in a hilarious way, and sends the message home right where it needs to go.
I thank you for the compliment.
Welcome.
Asante.
Asante.
Give credit where it's due.
Asante.
Now, I believe the government is sabotaging the county governance system that we have put in place in 2010. And this has been said from the beginning. And it was going to be done through withholding funds. And so we've seen that consistently since 2010. There's no goodwill when you know people need funds to deliver services, and yet you don't provide the funds needed. And it's deliberate. All the issues you raised within that skit are actually absolutely pertinent. Money comes in last minute. You can do nothing with it. Your whole project for that year or season or whatever it is, goes right through the window. And then they turn around and say, you don't deliver.
Yep.
And this is just undermining the authority of the governors and all the people in place. And that's why you can see MPs, there's no way that they're going to do anything but jump as high as possible when the executive says jump, because they're not going to get the funds that they need, even for their work as MPs.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's all tied in. It's all deliberate. It's done, as you said earlier, I think you're talking about, whistleblowers, etc., and how people are penalized, etc. During Nyaya's time, in the early days, if you were a big guy, a big wig, and you were politically connected, if you then stopped singing the tune, what they always did was to pull all credit from you to the banking system. So all of a sudden you were in receivership. When you were doing wonderfully well before, you became politically incorrect. So this is just a strategy. This is how it's done.
Thank
So
you.
let's wake up and say no. We want our counties in place.
Very good.
It brings services as it should to the people at the local ground.
Very
so let's
good.
keep pushing the agenda.
Thank you very much,
guys.
Amani.
Asante.
Ed in Nyeri, good morning.
Morning, guys. I'm in Nanyuki. It's very sunny over here.
Nanyuki is sunny.
Yeah, Nanyuki is quite sunny right now.
All right.
So, it's funny, yeah? that the national government is putting the county government in the same ordeal that they go through. Because actually, the national government depends on loans, depends on hand-to-mouth budget, so to speak, to survive. And it's funny enough, they expect the county government to survive, yet they know that the county government need the national government input. I'm going to tell you this. It's not that the president or the national government itself, the executive doesn't watch the news and see doctors striking, right?
Yep.
It's not that they don't see Council of Governors, governors holding press conferences and asserting their problems, right? It's not that actually they themselves don't know that we've not given County A money, County B money. But the thing is, ignorance. They're very ignorant, and I'm going to say this. You remember when we were talking about this government being an anarchy? Yes, it's an anarchy. As in, what to protect us at the time that we want, huh? We're like, hey, we're not surviving. Okay, we are surviving. And they forget that they are surviving because they have the cash at hand already.
Yes.
The county government needs cash from them.
They need the money.
They need the money. It's quite blatant that the national government itself is sabotaging. And funny enough is, we don't find the county government essential to be given funds, yet they find political drives towards their own agenda important enough. This government is made up of PR. Just PR.
Too much talk. Thank you, Ed. Have a good day.
Have a good one, guys.
Salimia Mlima Kenya. I'm sure you'll
Mlima
see
Kenya.
it. No, you say it to the mountain itself.
Yeah, I can see it actually from where I am.
And the one who resides on the mountain.
Okay. Hey, CT, have a good one, guys. Huh?
Thank you.
You know, I miss Isaac Ruto as a governor. When he was chair of the Council of Governors, he was very vocal on some matters. I would have expected that if it was Isaac Ruto now, with all these delays, he'd be all out there saying, Pesa mashinani. Pesa mashinani. Not things of what we thank the National Treasury for show of goodwill. What
He
goodwill?
wasn't just vocal, he was combative.
Yes.
Meaning, the issue that he had taken the helm of, he wasn't going to let it go. And he would speak about it very, very, very loudly. Very. And sometimes it's important. Because he wasn't sort of like, he wasn't a begging bowl. No. This is how this thing is arranged. This is how it should work. And it's not working. For heaven's sake, why is it not working that way?
Make it work.
Yes.
You have no excuse.
Yes.
Karanja in Naivasha, good morning.
Good morning, Eric, Kidu and Kiti.
Good morning.
Morning to you, Karanja. How is the Safari Rally?
Yeah.
Well, they're coming to you later this afternoon.
The Safari Rally is good, but we have several challenges of the police officers manning the road here and telling us we should go where we are.
They have removed matatus from town.
Yeah, matatus from town to other areas. Even we have witnessed this morning, some of the school-going children, especially the day schools, they have problems because they have to go to be put by the matatu where they were not likely to be.
Yep.
Lakini kwenda na kuingia ndani mahali shule iko ni mbali sana. Kwa hivyo wanachelewa alafu inakuwa ni shida.
Big issue.
Yes.
So let's talk about counties and devolution.
Surely. Surely. The CME stage that we would like to see, first of all, ask yourself, what is the work of the Senate? The Senate is to give checks and balances.
Yep.
So, there was also another issue that it raised that we are doing in the devolution area, is that since the CS that we have right now, we had been losing. Everything is going up. We have problems. Another problem that I see, the reason that these people see that a member of parliament cannot become a CS, that was another problem. Because the MPs, they are relying on committees. If the MP interrogates the committees, it takes 4 to 6 months before they reach the tiers. That is a problem. The problem is our constitution.
So oversight has also been affected.
Yes, it had also been affected.
But the Senate, let's even say it's a committee. The Senate committee that's in charge of these matters can summon the CS for the National Treasury at any point, and any other member who is not a member of this committee can attend that sitting.
Yes, that is very good. But the thing is, you had a CS who was being called by the same Senate, and he decided not to go. And the reason that he gave it very nonsense, saying that siwezi kuja kwa sababu ilikuwa na kazi nyingine nilikuwa naenda. Sasa sinaona. Haya, another thing that I see is a problem is the issue of the issue of how these people they give money to the counties. Haya, come to the Nakuru County, for instance. We have the assemblies. I have to tell you that you are talking about the issue of the potatoes. Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have not seen any extension officer on the ground and the county that is just behind the Nyadaro County. I have not seen anything. They are complaining each and every day in grassroots here.
They don't have information, they don't have support.
Yes, they don't have information, they don't have the support. Lack of information is a thing that is bringing this country down.
Good points. Thank you, Karanja.
Thank you very much. You have a lovely show.
You
Asante.
too. Have a lovely day. He's brought up the issue of the Senate. Senate is actually in existence to protect and safeguard devolution.
Yes.
The issue of delayed disbursements
Should land right at their doorstep and
is
they
something
deal.
the Senate should even not do anything else.
But deliberate over. Absolutely. And deal with.
You know what comes to my mind is every time we see governors in the dock in that very same Senate, they've been brought there because of issues of corruption. This is a path that leads to impeachment. I'm actually beginning to ask, is this tied in with this very same thing that we're discussing here? Why am I saying this? Why must we wait until, because each and every governor that you hear of who has faced this impeachment, we say the problem begins with the county assembly.
Yes.
But that is not the only indicator that appears. We've had governors who've escaped the impeachment. The question you ask is, these are very few. You can't even count them on all the fingers plus thumb that I have on my hand, out of 47. Yet, when you look at the Auditor General's report, you can count the number who are not implicated in one way or the other. So you want to ask the question, again, what really is happening here? What are we seeing? Because we're talking about the national government using whatever funds that should go to the counties as their own little toy that they maneuver as and when they see fit, as it suits their purposes, for whatever purposes they have in mind. Now, if that is the case, then does it not lend itself to asking the question? So it means that the national government also has governors who they consider favorites.
Yes.
People who don't face the same tough scrutiny as others do.
It wouldn't be too far from reality. It
You
would not
play
at all.
ball, you receive money on time. You play ball, we don't support impeachment motions against you.
Yes.
You play ball, you are safe.
And so,
You don't play ball, utakipata.
yes, you will
We
receive
make
it.
sure that you don't receive money.
Yes.
So you go for 2 months, 3 months without paying your workers. So there's a lot of pressure from the workers in the county government.
And it would seem
There's
as
a lot
if
of
it was
pressure that
you,
goes to the county
right?
assembly. And it appears like you are
If you are
complete.
the one who is
and
incapable of doing
while
it.
all those things are happening, information emerges that even the little amount of money that came, it went here and there, and it could have gone to pay salaries. But look, you are building houses, you are paying your wife. This is what they want to do. So it's a whole issue of playing games, not just with their fellow politicians, but with the lives of the people. Because health being a devolved function, agriculture being a devolved function. We are talking about the well-being of people.
The basic well-being. Basic.
Yes. And yet you do not facilitate for the people to access those services.
And you hear the Senate speaking loudly about this. Because oversight role is not difficult to understand.
No.
Do you hear them questioning, or do they wait until the issue is brought before them that there's this particular unfortunate individual who needs impeachment? How loudly and how often does one hear the Senate, in the floor of the Senate, people bring out some of these issues because that's their job, really?
By the time the Council of Governors is writing and saying, you know what, we have reached the end of the tether. If we don't have money by this time, we'll need to shut down operations.
Yes, just tell people to go home.
The Senate is quiet.
Not a squeak.
Not a word on this. Money is released and it's not enough. We have 5 days to the end of the financial year. 2 months.
These
arrears.
members of the Senate should not be surprised when come the next election. Many of them
Will not make a comeback.
well, they shouldn't be surprised because really it's an important role that clearly has gone wanting. One doesn't see. If one saw sufficient effort in the direction of oversight, you'd say, but you know something, there's this and this and this and this and this. Forget the normal queries that some committee raises. That's their job. Why is it that when members of our esteemed houses do their job, we are supposed to be thanking them for doing something we pay them for? Do I thank my house help every day for coming to work?
It's a job.
Do I thank my driver every day for coming to work? Do our employers thank us every day for coming to work to work?
No.
People aren't thanked for coming to do what they do.
They do what they're supposed to do.
Yes, you are thanked when you do something exceptional. But the understanding is there's a basic. And these things that we're saying are the basics that our houses of representatives should actually be doing. Basics. And those basics, unfortunately,
they are very unfortunate. Zachary in Nakuru, good morning.
No, good morning. Good morning, guys.
Morning to you.
Oh, I don't know. What would I do without Spice FM, actually? I don't know. Now, very quickly, because I can see that time is against us. Yesterday, I saw somebody had 3 trenches of cartoons. Yeah? In the first cartoon, there was the people, and then inside there's a barking dog, and it is barking towards the government, okay? And the guy representing the government is standing in a podium. That is the pulpit, yeah? So in the second trench, the guy the government guy finds out, this dog is making a lot of noise, yeah? So there is a bone. You view a bone to the dog, yeah? And in the third trench, the dog is now barking towards the people, yeah? Let me tell you, Mr. Eric, yeah? If you want to die very quickly, instead of going to buy a rope, yeah? After you hang yourself, can you go and try to fight just a simple contract consisting of a few thousand shillings, yeah? With the government, with the county government that is nearest to you.
Yeah.
You will die very slowly. Okay? So, thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you very much, Zachary.
Thank you.
How do we get... Pio said there's... And actually also, Amani, we should keep demanding that what is supposed to be done gets done. It is not a matter of a suggestion that the National Treasury releases money to the counties. In fact, maybe it should not even be... so the first charge, money gets into that account. The first charge is paying the debts that we have with our multilateral and bilateral lenders. The second charge should be paying the counties. In fact, it should also be the first charge. Pay debts with the multilateral lenders. Next thing should be let the money that is due to the county go to the county. This thing of now the National Treasury deciding, okay, no, we need to do this and the other, and then we shall send money to the counties at some point. This is going against the spirit and the letter of the Constitution.
Absolutely.
Because we have devolution for a reason. People went and voted and decided they want to come up with devolution for a reason. They wanted to see development at their local level where they are directly involved in the decision making of the development that they see. Now, people have elected, they have created the structures, they have participated in elections, they participate in determining the budget. Then the money that should be coming does not come. And it's not money it's not some donation. They participated in raising the revenue that is coming back. This is not money that was raised at the national level, outside the national treasury. It was raised across the country by everybody across the country. So it should be shared across the country.
You know, this constitution that we keep talking about protecting, it is clear that our esteemed elected leaders haven't gotten this thing through their heads. We are the bosses, not them. Our job is not to keep listening to them. Their job is to listen to us.
Listen to us. It's the other way around.
Yes.
Yeah. City, tell us about today's proverb then.
The axe forgets. The tree remembers. If you look at the levels of ills that keep raining on us Kenyans, it amounts to being chopped down. You try to do this, it isn't working because of this or the other. We are the trees. We remember. The axe, the people who are supposed to implement these things and make sure that they hold the government accountable on our behalf, when they don't do the job, they are part and parcel of those who are bringing us down and ensuring that the services that are due to us, the benefits that are due to us as their employer, never really gets to us. So the axe forgets.
But
yes, the axe even forgets that the handle it has is actually made from us.
Yep. Though without the handle,
you will wield nothing. It might as well be a blade for shaving. A rather big one, if I may say.
That's very true.